with me today is Moses Kinikini from Biggest Loser Season 11. How are you doing, Moses?
I'm doing great. It's good to be with you.
Good. You look good. How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel really good to be able to have gotten so much weight off already. I still have more to go, but feeling really good.
Good. And you're Where Are They Now last week after your elimination? You talked about kind of some of the big medical changes that have happened to you. The most obvious change all of you undergo is the weight loss. But for you, there were a lot of medical changes that for the better. You're no longer on a lot of medications. Can you tell me about those changes?
Yeah, one of them was when I went on the ranch, I actually was taking three different high blood pressure medicine, and I don't have those anymore. In fact, I went from 178 over 105 blood pressure to a 126 over 75.
Wow.
And another great thing is when I started, I was about a 90% chance in the next year or so to become diabetic, and I dropped it down to a 1%. Just hit the button on the side. Thank you.
You dropped to 1%?
Yes, I dropped only to 1% chance of even becoming diabetic. So,
Moses, that is astonishing.
yeah, and that was only 10 weeks into the season, and it's been long since then. So, everything has changed. But probably my greatest joy of that whole thing is when Dr. Huizenga gave me my death date at first, which was kind of sad. I was hoping to give him my inner body age, but he gave me my death date. They predicted when I would die, which was April 23rd, 2025, only about 14 years from now. Well, after 10 weeks, I added 19 years back to my life. And, that brought such tremendous joy to know that I will be here to be able to watch my grandchildren grow up. I don't have any yet. I kind of nudged Kaylee, like, okay, Dad's ready for it, though she needs to find herself a husband first. And then,
Girls always appreciate that nudge.
yes, absolutely. And trust me, she better have a husband first before she even thinks about that.
That's a whole other talk show.
That's right.
Well, Moses, one of the other really great joys for you this season was the unexpected trip to New Zealand. And I think that trip touched you a lot more than any other contestant this season. What was it like that day when Bob handed you his cell phone and calling your dad to let him know where in the world you were?
First of all, to even share that with Bob was very emotional for me to be able to talk about my dad and his experience here. And then when I said, the idea of anything, basically to be able to tell my dad where I was standing at that moment. And he went and broke the rules, a rule that we don't get cell phones at the ranch. And this is the first time he'd ever offered his phone to a contestant. And he allowed me to be able to talk to my dad and, to be able to hear my father as well as my mom. My mom was there too, but especially about my dad. I felt like I got to enjoy part of what he went through. I mean, I really look back at what he did, really changed the course of the Kinikini family's life. He went back to my grandparents and his brothers and sisters and helped them move on in life. And I got to share that with him. And then the best part is after it was all done, I got to go back with my dad and to be able to take him to the school, to the Auckland Grammar School, and to walk in that building. That is an amazing school. They even had the benches there in the main hall where my father sat. They're older than me. I mean, those benches are older than I am, and they're still there. But what an impressive school. And I was grateful for all the people there to be able to welcome my dad back and to see the smile on his face and, bring back so many memories for him, which is what I wanted. I was so happy to take him back and Because my father, to me, my dad is, well, see, I better stop talking about it. My father is the greatest example to me of what a person should be, and especially as a father and as a husband. And if I could only be, half of the man of what he is, then I would be considered a great man. So I hope Kaylee and my daughter Lynette can look to me even part of how I look to my own father.
Would be a great legacy for sure. I'm so glad you got to have that experience, Moses, and I have to tell you, there wasn't a dry eye in my house last week.
I've had a lot of friends and many people who I don't know, fans throughout the whole country, especially through Facebook. They have commented about that episode, and I'm impressed because one of the favorite things that pretty much everybody says is that the experience I had to take back my father back there, that's what everybody truly, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
To see what a sweet man my father is. And, and everybody's, wow, he's short. My dad's not a big man. And where I came from, I don't know. It's from all my other relatives. But they enjoyed being able to see that my father was able to experience that.
I'm so glad. I thought you made a really profound statement last week when you said that your dad went to New Zealand to restart your family and the direction that your family was taking. And then you also went to New Zealand to sort of restart the direction that your family was taking. What have you taken home, and what changes have been, put in place by the entire family? It's interesting you bring that up because, I actually made that comparison, realizing that when my father left, where he got his education in life, he was able to change his life to move forward his family. And I took it that that's New Zealand is where I finished my biggest loser education, where I was able to get everything back and bring my life back. So now, in turn, I ended in New Zealand to go back to my family and change my family's life to move forward. And so I've been able to be home so far and really getting, I got to take responsibility as a father about watching what my children eat. My wife and I didn't do real well with Kaylee. And thank goodness Kaylee's been able to get her life back. But I still have an 8-year-old at home, Linnea, and she's thin right now, but she is Tongan. So just the build of our Tongan bodies, if I just let it naturally go, she will get big. But a big part of it is because we feed ourselves the wrong thing. So to be more educated and realizing that it is my responsibility, I've gone back home to really help Linnea kind of watch what she puts in her body, as well as my wife. And just our whole kitchen has changed. We have everything is healthy. We do have a little bit of some of the stuff that's not the greatest thing to have, but that's what reality is. I'm still going to eat a donut. Sometime I'm going to eat ice cream, but I'm only going to eat this much of it there, and I'm only going to eat it once in a while. And when I do eat it, I'll know what the calories are. And I say I was supposed to work out an hour that day. Well, I'm going to work out an hour and 30 minutes that day for that. And so that's where my life has changed. I'm facing things with reality, but I am putting the right things in our kitchen to make that possible. Like MultiGrain Cheerios. Yes.
I love that. I loved it even before the show, and I'm just so glad that it's one of those healthy things. I love the things that are healthy is things that I actually do enjoy, and
there's a lot of good healthy food out there. I think people think that it's nothing but bags of salad and baby carrots, and the more healthy food you eat, I think you find that it's actually a lot better.
It is, and you feel better. But I think you're right. A lot of people don't realize the things out there that are really very good, that are healthy. And yeah, Cheerios, the multigrain Cheerios is, you know, at the ranch, it was one of our favorite cereals we ate there. So I'm happy to eat it all the time.
They make a good dinner. They're and the milk is sweet enough, and they're sweet enough that you almost feel like you're kind of having a snack. So
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I do have to control myself when I do have that, because I'm like, okay, you know, just because it's healthy for you doesn't mean you can eat the whole box at one time.
exactly. Well, Moses, you look fantastic. Couldn't be happier about the progress that you've made, and we're anxious to see you and Kaylee walk across that stage in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and showing you our new body.